Bhagavad Gita
Vyasena Kradita Pura Advaitamridavashni Savadi Ashtasharparini Tatvamanu Sampatami Bhagavad Gita Bhagavad.
Yes, verse 16.
Yeah, verse 15.
16.
15.
Huh?
16.
15.
1-6.
Svayamevātmānātmānam Vetatvam Purushottama.
Okay.
Bhuta Bhavana Bhutesha Deva Deva Jagatpate. Purushottama, who is the most exalted being. Bhuta Bhavana.
But again, there's some problem in the lift, Swamiji here. He's getting cursed.
You know yourself, the most exalted being, Bhuta Bhavana, the creator of all beings. Bhutesha, the ruler of all beings. Deva Deva, Lord of the gods. Jagatpate, the Lord of creation. Tvam Swayam Eva Veta, you yourself know. Atmana, with your own mind. Atmanam, self. You know yourself with your own mind. Purushottama, Krishna, the creator of all beings, the ruler of all beings, Lord of the gods, Lord of creation.
Yeah, next.
16. Bhakti-arhasya-shena divya-hyatma vibhutayaha yabir-vibhutibir-lokan imam svam vyapya tishtasi. Divya, extraordinary. He, indeed. Atma vibhutayaha, the glories of yourself. Yabihi vibhuti bihi. Those glories by which. Iman lokan. These words. Vyapya, pervading. Tvam istasi. You remain. Asheshena uttam arhasi. You are capable of telling in full. You indeed are capable of telling in full the extraordinary glories of yourself, the glories by which you remain pervading these words. Arjuna confirms.
He is asking, like, since the thing is that when we say the Ishvara is the creator, what we have personified Ishvara as someone who has got all the vibhutis, all the shaktis, all the varieties, everything put together is what we have perceived as or personified or conceptualized as Ishvara. And so naturally, he knows all the varieties of names, all the vibhutis. So having personified Ishvara as someone who knows everything, naturally he only can tell what are all the vibhutis, what are all the varieties, what are the shakti and all that. So he says, so he is very, even though he is talking to Krishna who is a friend, who in the sense as an avatara is a friend and all that, but he as a Shishya and as a person from the culture, he knows that Ishvara is, when he is the avatar of Ishvara, he has all the vibhutis at his command and he only can describe it in full. Irrespective of however learned a person can be, he cannot know the vibhuti of Ishvara in full. So only he is capable of telling that Arjuna, Arjuna is able to express his maturity in understanding what is the Tatparyam of Ishvara. by saying that only you can tell everything in full. So please tell. So in the sense, you must understand the maturity of the Shishya also. In the sense, the Shishya here is deserving Shishya. In the sense, he is already he is a qualified person. That is made out by the way in which he is asking the questions, he is approaching the whole thing as a Shishya. That is what we have to learn from these verses. Even though there is not much, and this is now Swami Bhagavan is going to give all his glories, something like what is happening like in Vishnu Sahasranama. What are all the glories he is going to enumerate. But the fact that Arjuna is able to exalt Bhagavan to say that and make himself very deserving recipient of all the glories that are going to be enumerated by Bhagavan is made out by the words in which is asking this, framing these questions. That is what we have to understand by these verses where Arjuna is asking these questions.
Arjuna confirms the opinion of the rishis that Krishna is Ishvara. Then he tells why Krishna alone is qualified to talk about all those glories by which he remains covering the entire universe. Though there are others to talk about it, you are the most eligible, Arjuna says. Tvam Swayam Veta. You yourself know, not being taught by anybody. What does he know? Atmanam. You know the truth of yourself. How? Atmana. Through your own mind. Atmana. Through your own mind. Which is why you speak of yourself as Ishvara all the time.
Yes.
Ishvara says here that you know yourself as the one who has knowledge, overlordship, strength and power that leave nothing to be desired. In short, you know yourself as Ishvara, Purushottama, the one who is exalted among the Purushas. He is addressed as Bhuta Bhavana, the one who creates all the beings with their body, mind, sense complexes. For each being, he creates a unique Sthula, Sukshma Sarira, appropriate to their karma. And not only does he create all beings, he also takes care of them. So he is called Bhutesha, the ruler of all beings. Then he is addressed as Devadeva, the Lord of all the gods and Jagatpati, the Lord of this entire creation. All these are appellations of the Lord. Anybody?
No, sir. Bhaktum arhasi aseshena. You are capable of revealing without leaving anything out. What is revealed is Atma Vibhutis, your own glories, which are not of this world, Divya, Alokika. The word Atma shows that this refers not only to the Lord, but to yourself. Arjuna is implying, you know about me, Atma, and you can talk about all the glories of Atma, which you know so well. Yabhihi Vibhutibihi Lokan Iman Tvam Vyapya Tishtasi. All these glories by which you stand, pervading all these worlds, only you are eligible to talk about. Arjuna says later, I am still not satisfied with what you have been saying about yourself. You talk not just about your glories, but mine too, which you can see. All of us want to listen to our glories. So tell me more. Lord Krishna does not simply tell Arjuna that he, Krishna, is everything. He proves the fact that he is everything. And Krishna also implies that Arjuna, or anyone for that matter, can know that he is also not different from Ishvara. Then all these glories would apply and belong to him too. It is not flattery, but a statement of fact. So even when it is not understood, it has a ring of truth and logic to it. Here you have facts that elevate you. The more you listen, the more you want to know. You always love to gaze at yourself in the mirror, much more than is necessary. There is self-love in you because Atma is something you cannot but love. It is intrinsically Ananda, fullness. Because you have some insight about that, you cannot give up the hope that one day you are going to be wonderful. So when someone holds up a word mirror and makes you see that you are everything, you can never be tired of it. What is the word mirror, Swamiji?
Word mirror is a sabda, like in the sense, word mirror is sabda pramana. Sabda pramana only is talking about. The way in which it is explained, they are using the same words which we are using. Like for example, we use the word vastu. He uses the word vastavam. Vastavam means it is not a thing, but the reality of it. So like that, every word that is being used in the Shastra are known to us. But in that they remove what is the limitations. What are the relative meanings of the words are removed, then what is left is only the absolute meaning. So by that way, using the same word mirror, it is becoming clearer and clearer your own reality. Whereas using the same words, we are doing all our vyavahara. But everywhere we are stuck. When we say Satyam, we only know what is Satyam in time and place. We don't know a Satyam which is not bound by time and not bound by place. So they will use the word Satyam and they say it is not bound by time or bound by place. Then you will, what you can imagine from the Satyam, what is not bound by time and place, if you remove, then the absolute will emerge. But it will not be used as a word, it will be used as a mirror. So you can only know understand the reality of it, but the mirror per se is just a jadam. It is mirror per se is a jadam. It is not, it doesn't have chetanam. But the face which you see, the person which you see is chetanam. So that is how it is. The words are words, just words, jadam. But from there, the way in which it is coined, it is used and explained, it becomes a mirror to you. That is the beauty of the whole pramana is supposed to be called, sabda pramana is supposed to be a mirror. That is what he is talking about now. He is like a words, like a mirror only. Yes, yeah.
Arjuna says, listening to these nectar-like words which reveal your glories and therefore mine, I have no satisfaction, Trupti. So please tell me more about these glories. For those of us who cannot directly appreciate you, which are the places and things in which your glory is so pronounced that it can become an object of meditation? Thus Arjuna asks for further description. Lord Krishna says, it is very difficult to do this, and even if I describe it for days, it will not end. Yet I will make an attempt to say a few things. Then in the 11th chapter he makes a drastic revelation by giving Arjuna a vision of the cosmic form. Verses 17 and 18. Arjuna requests Lord Krishna to reveal his glories. Khatam vidyamaham yogim tvam sada parichintayan keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintyosi bhagavan maya. Sada parichintayam, always contemplating. Katam vidyam aham, how can I know? Tvam, you. Katam vidyam aham, how can I know? Tvam, you. Yogi, the greatest of the yogis, Lord. Keshu keshu cha bhaveshu, and in which forms? Chintyaha, asi, are you to be meditated upon? Maya, by me, Bhagavan, O Lord. The greatest of the yogis, ever contemplating, how can I know you? In which forms are you to be meditated upon by me, O Lord?
Yeah, because previously it was told, no, that Chintanam, the people who know that Chintanam, that Katanam, that Prabodhanam, he says that. He says, tell me how I can do that. That's what he is asking. So unless I know how to do that, the glory, how I am able to sense, it should not be contemplation or meditation, should not be a, what do you call, no, I have to do something like that, no. It should be something so loving and something so very inviting that you don't have to be told that you have to meditate. Whenever you get time, you will meditate or contemplate upon. So, how I can do that? Unless I know the glory of it, I won't be able to get to that. So that's why he is asking how I can do that. Bhagavan in his own words is going to tell us how the glories can be brought in contemplation and meditated upon. Yeah.
Here he says, Sada Parichintayam, always contemplating, how can I know your glory? All we see around us are only objects. To appreciate Ishvara, the Purusha, because of whom the object is an object, we have to go behind the objects and see beyond what we can physically perceive. It is purely a vision of the buddhi. So it is with Jnana Chakshu, the eye of wisdom, that we have to see. So it is with Jnana Chakshu, the eye of wisdom, that we have to see. Meditation upon Ishvara, Ishvara Dhyana, is seeing the glories of Ishvara, Ishvara Vibhuti Dhyana. Then Arjuna asked the Lord, Keshu Keshu Chap Bhaveshu Chintya Ashi. What are the objects in which you are to be meditated upon? There are many objects and beings in the universe. In some of them, the Lord's glories are particularly manifest. These are identified as special by the Vedas or Puranas. Also, certain objects by convention and some people by their deeds become popular. The glory which made them popular is Ishvara, and thus they become a focus of meditation. So Arjuna says, O Lord, tell me all those glories in which you are specially manifest, where you can become the object of meditation. It is true that the Lord is manifest in everything, but the glories of some objects and people stand out in creation. The value in any of these glories is Ishvara, and the absolute value, Pratyekatma, is also Ishvara. A value in anything is always connected to a being. If there is an intrinsic value to a reality, then that intrinsic value belongs only to Ishvara. Here the value is not imagined or superimposed, as it is in gold, for example. Gold has two values, the superimposed and the intrinsic value. That it is shiny, malleable, rare and rust-proof is its intrinsic value. The monetary value is superimposed, but its intrinsic value minus our projections is Ishvara's glory. It is the basis for Ishvara Dhyana. I eliminate my projections and appreciate Ishvara's glory as identical with the object's intrinsic value. That value is the glory of Ishvara. Therefore, please tell me in which objects I can see you like this. Vistarenatmano yogam vibhudim cha janardana bhuya kataya triptihi triptirhi shinvatu bhuya kataya triptirhi shinvato nasti me mritam. Vistarena in detail, bhuya. Again, Kataya, please describe Atmanaha Yogam, the wonder of yourself, Vibhutim Cha, and the glory, Janardana, O Lord, He, because Amritam Shunvatame, for me, the listener of this nectar, Triptihi na asti, there is no satisfaction. Please describe to me again in detail the wonder and glory of yourself, Janardana, Krishna, because I, the listener of this nectar, have no satisfaction. As Ishvara, the Lord, you have unique capacities like omniscience and omnipotence called yoga in this verse. These manifest in the creation as Vibhutayaha, glories like the sun and the moon, which are the glories of your power. Again, O Janardana, please describe to me in detail your glory. Vistarena Vibhutim Bhuyaha Kathaya. Janardana. Footnote. Ardhataha Gati Karmano Rupam. Asuranam Deva Prati Pakshabhutanam Janana Narakadigam Ayitritvat Janardanaha. Abhyudaya Nishreyasa Purushartha
Narakadi Gamayitritvat Janardana.
Narakadi
Gamayitritvat. Gamayiti means going, or reaching, Narakadi Gamayitritvat Janardanaha.
Narakadi Gamayitritvat Janardanaha Abhyudaya Nishreyasa Purushartha Prayojanam Sarvehi Janaihi Yachate Iti Va. Shankara Bhashyam.
From the Bhashyam he has taken. Now you will explain also. Yeah.
Is the one who destroys people of improper conduct. Dushta Janan Ardayati Iti Janardanaha. Here, destruction means to discipline by giving karma phala. There are two meanings for the root Ad in the word Janardana. One is Gamana, going. The other is Yachana, asking for or requesting. Shankara gives two meanings for Janardana using both senses of the root. In the sense of Gamana, he is the one who makes all the Asuras, those who are opposed to the Devas, go to unpleasant places like Naraka.
So that is why I said Narakadi Gamayitritvat. Gamayitritvat means sending them. Gamayitru, going, yeah.
By the law of karma, which is not separate from him and is mandated by him, he sends them to Narakadi lokas. Taking the second meaning of the root, he is the one who is propitiated by all people, either for limited results or for the limitless Nishreyas. Limited results, Abhyudaya, or prosperity, pleasures, and so on. Any desirable end other than moksha is called Abhyudaya. Janardana is the one that all these people pray to for both types of results. In a prayer, there are two objects. The primary object is what you are asking for, and the secondary object is whom you are asking. For a samsari, the two are separate. But a seeker prays to the Lord to know the Lord. So, the two objects become one. The person from whom all this is asked, be it Abhyudaya or Nishreyas, is called Janardana. Janehi Adyate Yachyate Yasmat Saha Janardanaha. Please describe your glories to me, the listener, because the description is like Amrita, nectar to my ears. Amrita is anything that satisfies you or gives you happiness. Shankara says that Arjuna refers to the words coming out of Krishna's mouth as Amrita. For me, there cannot be enough of it. Triptihi Nasti Me. The more he hears, the more he wants to hear. Continue.
The Lord Krishna recounts his glories. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Antate Katayishyami Divyahyatma Vibhutayaha Pradhanyata Guru Shreshta Nastyanto Vistarasya Me.
Which verse here?
How is that?
Which verse are we seeing? Which verse are
We are doing 19, 1 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sri Bhagavan the Lord, Vacha said, Anta, well now, Kuru Sreshta, O best of the Kurus, Te, to you, Ye, Divyaha, Atma Vibhutayaha, the glories of mine that are divine. Taha Kadashishyami.
Katayishyami means telling, yeah.
Those I will tell. Pradhanyataha. In keeping with their promise, he, because, may, Vibhutinam Vistarasya, for the detailed description of my glories, Antaha Na Asti, there is no end. Sri Bhagavan said, well now Arjuna, the best of the Kurus, I will tell you my divine glories in keeping with their prominence, because there is no end to a detailed description of my glories. Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutasya Stitaha Ahamadishya Madhyam Cha Bhutanam Anta Yevacha. Gudakesha, O master of sleep. Arjuna, Aham Atma, I am the self. Sarva Bhutasya Stitaha, who resides in the hearts of all beings. Cha, and Aham, I am, Bhutanam, of all beings, things, Adihi, the cause, Madhyam cha, and the sustenance, Antaha eva cha, and the resolution. Gudakesha, Arjuna, I am the self, who resides in the hearts of all beings, and the cause of the creation, sustenance, and resolution of all beings and things. Hanta is an expression of wonder or pleasure. Krishna is happy that Arjuna has asked him this. He says, Te kadashishyami.
Katayishyami.
Katayishyami. I will explain to you these special heavenly glories. Divyaha Atma Vibhutaya. There is no end to my glories. They are endless. Nasti antaha vistarasya me. Therefore, I will enumerate them in keeping with their importance. Pradhanyakaha. Shankara explains it is not possible to narrate all of them without leaving anything out. Even in 100 years, the list would not come to an end. Therefore, Bhagavan says that he would tell Arjuna a few important ones among them. Firstly, you said you want to meditate. Then meditate upon yourself, for I am yourself, Aham Atma. Instead of glorifying Ishvara, just know yourself, for you are that Ishvara, and all the glories belong to you. Gudakesha is the one who has mastered sleep. The word Gudaka means sleep. One who has mastered this Gudaka is Gudakesha. Shankara says, Jita Nidra, Gudaka Nidra Tasya, Ishaha, Gudakesha, Jita Indraha.
Jita Nidra means the one who has conquered sleep, that's all. It is as simple as, it's a simpler word, that is why it's given as a meaning. Jita Nidra is as good as Gudaka. Gudaka means something very, Gu means, stands for darkness. In sleep, total darkness is there. So good sleep means you will completely, deep sleep what they say will be completely dark. There won't be any dreams and all that. So he says Jita Nidra, since one who has, completely got rid of that Nidra, the tamas. Tamas is standing for Nidra, complete Nidra, deep sleep, where total darkness is there. So that is tamas. So one who has conquered tamas is called Jita Nidra. That's what he is explaining. Yeah.
Where Nidra means tamas. He is the one who has mastered tamas and is alert. There is another meaning of Gudakesha. The one who has matted hair. Guda means thick or matted, and Kesha means hair. Arjuna asked Bhagavan as to which are the objects in which he is available for meditation. Krishna says, Aham Atma Gudakesha. I am Atma, the self in you, Arjuna. Krishna, do you want to read?
He is right. Pratyagatma Aham. In Arjuna is
Bhagavan. If you have any problem, I will read, no problem.
No.
I can read.
Pratyagatma.
He says he can read. You can read.
I can read, yeah.
Yeah, I can read, no problem.
Okay, Prashant will read.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm audible.
No, I think it is blurred.
No, I will read for some more time. The Pratyagatma Aham in Arjuna is Bhagavan, and the name from Arjuna is only an Upadhi. Since all glories belong to Bhagavan and Aham is Bhagavan, all glories of Bhagavan also belong to the Pratyagatma. The primary statement of the Shastra is that the Vastu is Pratyagatma. Secondly, with reference to Avastu, which is Mithya, the Lord says, I am Jagat Karana, the cause for everything, and I am the one who obtains in the buddhi of all beings, Sarva Bhuta Ashaya Sthita, as the Pratyagatma. So first you have to recognize me as yourself. The statement, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhuta Ashaya Sthitaha. is an equation. That Atma which obtains in this buddhi of all beings, I am. The predication is between Aham and Atma, where the adjective to Atma is Sarva Bhuta Asaya Sthita. That Atma which resides in the heart of all beings, I am. Aham here means Ishvara. So Ishvara is predicated to Atma. This Atma obtaining in all beings is Paramatma. That I am Aham Asmi. If you want a primary form of contemplation upon Ishvara, then contemplate on the Pratyegatma. Nididhyasana is another Anga of Shravana.
Shravana. Another Anga of Shravana. Yeah.
Shravana.
The Shastra Vichara.
Shastra Vichara, which is the real means for knowing. Shankara says that it is to be meditated upon always, Nityam Dhyayaha.
Dhyayaha means Dhyanam. Dhyayaha means Dhyanikam. That in the sense meditating. See, what he says is, Ashaya, the word Ashaya is, Asha we know, Asha Pasham. We know, no? Asha means something which is very close to our heart. That is what he says. See, in the equation, every one of us wants to be all the vibhuti of Ishvara I want to have. That Asha is there in all of us. So what he says is, Ham is you, but what you want is Ishvara Bhavam. That is Ashaya. That is what I want. So this is an equation. You knew the Atma, your Aham, all that you want, all that is Ashaya as Ishvara is there. So that is the equation. That is how you have to meditate upon. That the glories, all the glories of Ishvara is in my heart. So that way you have to meditate, I am Atma Brahma, it's something like I am Atma Brahma, instead of saying that Aham Atma Buddha Kesha Sarva Bhuta Asaya Sthitaha. It's an equation, that's why he says that way. Yeah.
Bhagavan says, in all the various objects that I am now going to narrate to you, I should be meditated upon. I am available for appreciation there. How is this so? Aham Adihi Bhutanam. I am the efficient and material cause of the creation, the one because of whom the creation of all things takes place. Then Madhyam Cha, the sustaining cause, Sthiti Karana of all the Bhutas beings. The sustenance of all beings is because of me. And I am Antaha, the cause into which they resolve. In the end, they come back to me, the material cause, Upadana Karana. This being so, any object is me and can be meditated upon as me. Any value which is intrinsic in the manifested form is me, like sugar in the sugar cane. You may love sugar. That is your personal value. But in the sweetness in the sugar, you can see Bhagavan, because it is this sweetness that makes sugar cane what it is. With this understanding, you can see that Ishvara is available for invocation in any object that has some glory. Being the Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karana, nothing is separate from him. There are countless names and forms, all of which are available for meditation. But then you only see your ego surfacing as an admirer with reference to certain objects. The source of that admiration is nothing but Ishvara, seen by your ego as it assumes the form of an admirer. Since Ishvara is the cause for creation, sustenance and dissolution, naturally anything here is an object of meditation. Ishvara can be invoked in any given form. Yet in certain places he is invoked more easily.
So that is why this we are having innumerable number of forms in our worship, and people criticize, which makes it very clear that where every vibhuti, everywhere there is something to be appreciated. Bhagavan is means naturally you can worship Bhagavan in any form. So in any form, when we worship, we are not worshipping the form, we are worshipping the glory of Ishvara in that form. So ultimately we are worshipping only Ishvara, whatever be the form. But in a particular form, the particular vibhuti is highlighted, and then we worship. So, that being the maturity of the culture, so we have got so many forms. So that is what people have, the other theologists, other religionists, they are not able to appreciate. That we are able to appreciate the glory of Ishvara in anything and everything, and everywhere where there is something. That is why Swamiji always used to say, even a scientist is a rishi. In the sense, the glory of the scientist, that he is able to have the discrimination to come out with something, even that is the glory of Ishvara. So we are able to see that. That is why we are able to appreciate, and that also will give us that even when we are doing something great, we will always attribute it to Bhagavan. In the sense, we will, that ego automatically gets sublimated in the appreciation of Ishvara's vibhuti as what he has done. Even if he has done something good, you will say it's all Ishvara's, because anything and everything can be appreciated in vibhuti of Ishvara. That is also made out from this vibhuti yoga. We can understand that, and that is the glory of our culture. That's what Swamiji always used to say. People don't appreciate that. We are able to appreciate that everything, anything and every vibhuti belongs to that Ishvara. Sense again, Ishvara means that which is abhinna nimitta upadana karanam, from which everything comes, everything is getting sustained and everything resolves. When anything that is born, anything getting sustained and everything that resolves into, if all of them are belonging to Ishvara Shakti, then where is your ego, or where you are separate from him? Number one, you are not separate from him. Number one, you have nothing to say, it is all mine. Because everything is in one Ishvara's glory only. All our glory is also Ishvara's glory. And Ishvara's glory, if you are discriminating enough, you can appreciate that Ishvara's glory is I. Ishvara's glory, even I am also Ishvara's glory only. So if we can understand that, then there is no alienation. That both the ways it is helpful. That there is no alienation and there is no separation or an ego which tries to corner glories and get very excited about it. All those things can be avoided if you are able to appreciate this is a reality, that all the glories belong to the Desa Kala Vastu Aparichanna Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam, which is from which everything is born, everything is sustained and everything resolves into. When we are able to explain it like this, in one shot, there is a Ishvara Bhavam in Aham, and all glories belong to the Ishvara. That we can easily make out from going to elaborate. And this is a good way to meditate. That is why all this Ishvara Nama, when we meditate, we understand that all the glories are one glory of Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam, from which everything is born, everything is sustained by, and everything resolves into. That way, if you are able to appreciate that and do the Namavali, Japa and all that, then that itself is a big source of meditation, and that the oneness between Ishvara and you gets established in the meditation itself. Since even as you do the Japa with this understanding, you will feel that oneness. That oneness, that ultimate bhakti and ultimate jnanam are one and the same. That's what, that is why jnani is the ultimate bhakta. That is what we have discussed before also. The same thing gets established by doing the meditation, by appreciating the vibhutis of Ishvara in your meditation. That's what he is trying to say. Yeah.
Aditya namaham Vishnu Jyotisham Raviram Suman Marichir Mardamasmi Nakshatranam Aham Shashi Adityanam Aham. Among the Adityas, Aham Vishnu, I am Vishnu, Jyotisham, among the luminaries, Ravihi, the sun, Amshuman, the one who has raised, Marutam, among the Maruts, Marichi Asmi, I am Marichi, Nakshatranam, among the luminaries seen at night, Aham Shashi, I am the moon. Among the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Among the luminaries, I am the sun, the one who has raised. Among the Maruts, I am Marichi. And among the luminaries seen at night, I am the moon. Vedanam Sama Vedosmi, Devanam Asmi Vasavaha, Indriyanam Manaschasmi, Bhutanam Asmi Chetana Vedanam. Among the Vedas, Samaveda Asmi. I am the Samveda. Devanam. Among the gods, Vasava Asmi. I am Indra. Indriyanam. Among the means of knowing, Manaha Asmi. I am the mind. Bhutanam Cha. And of the embodied beings, Chetana Asmi. Chetana Asmi. I am the faculty of cognition. And the Vedas, among the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. Among the gods, I am Indra. Among the means of knowing, I am the mind. And of the embodied beings, I am the faculty of recognition.
Faculty of cognition means buddhi basically. Yeah.
Faculty of cognition. In the Puranas, Vedas, you will hear of various objects suitable for contemplation upon Ishvara. From the standpoint of the Puranas, among the 12 Adityas, I am Vishnu. Ishvara viewed from the standpoint of sustenance is Vishnu. Here Vishnu is the name of one of the Aditya Devatas. Adityas are 12 in number and they are Data, Mitra, Aryama, Rudra, Varuna, Surya, Bhagat, Vivashwan, Pusa, Savita, Twasta, Vishnu.
Yeah, and in this sun we generally use the word Surya, Savita. Kavita comes in Gayatri. Savita means again Sanya, sun only, and Surya is Surya. So Aditya generally is referred to as Aditya Mandalam. Aditya Mandalam is all the 12 which are being described are equivalent to Surya, or equally as powerful as Surya, whereas in our solar system Surya is the Devata, Surya is the Aditya. So far as we know, we generally relate to Surya only, and sometimes we talk in our Gayatri Mantra and the Savita we say that. It's all there.
Known to us through the Puranas. Each Aditya, sun sustains life within its sphere, but Vishnu is the all-pervasive sustainer of even the Adityas. And here Bhagavan says, I am that Vishnu. Actually, Swamiji, this Aditya Devata 12. What are these people, Data, Mitra and all that?
Yeah, that is Aditya Mandalam. That is why he says it is not, we have a solar system in our galaxy, that's it. They are talking about a universe where Aditya Mandalam, that is why Chandra Mandalam, when we say it is not this Chandra. This Chandra, what we are knowing, where people go on, even that Prabhupada of Krishna consciousness, he says, the Chandra to which these people have gone and landed is not the Chandra that is being talked about in the Shastra. That is because the Chandra Mandala, Aditya Mandala we are talking about, it is for the whole universe, where there are many galaxies are there, like our galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, there are many other galaxies. Likewise, our sun, which is part of this galaxy, only one sun, that is our sun. Whereas like that there are various suns, all of them are called Aditya. The mandala is called Aditya Mandala. And Vishnu, he says, is the Ishvara of all those Aditya Mandalas. So that is what he says, that I am the Vishnu. So it is something much more, what they call, Andanda, Pindanda and all that. See, we belong to Pindanda, that one part of the universe. Andanda is supposed to be the Mahat, is much more bigger and universal than the Andanda is where Earth is located. So like that, they are talking about Aditya Mandala, which is having 12 Adityas, will have part of many galaxies. And Vishnu says, I am the Bhagavan for all of them. Because even in the Vishwarupa, they say only one part of Vishwa is Vishwarupa only we have seen, very little. Whereas Vishnu, the whole universe or the whole being, Vishnu Swarupa, is much bigger than the part which we call Jagat and all that. What we perceive, what we can understand and what we talk about cosmic and all that is only a very small part of this universe. Whereas only one part, even Shastra says only one part, like one Amsha, I am there available as manifest as Jagat and all that. So likewise, this Aditya Mandala is much bigger than just one Milky Way galaxy or our own solar system, which is much beyond that. And Bhagavan says that I am the Vishnu of all the Adityas, all the 12 mandalas, Aditya mandala. That's what he is talking about. Yeah. It is something basically, I would say, it is all something unimaginable. That unimaginable for limitlessness. How to say limitlessness? You have to say, Swamiji always used to say, when somebody does a raga, alapana, when he does the raga, he wants to go to the height, he will go to the height to that extent and then he will show a hand. That means, I want to reach much beyond what I can sing, but my throat is not permitting. So they will show like that. So like that, we can only, up to a point only, all said and done, our buddhi or our imagination or the cognition can go up to a certain point. To that extent, then we say limitless. So instead of saying limitless, he says Vishnu. Vishnu means what? Sarvavyapi means limitless. That is what Vishnu means. The real meaning of the word Vishnu is Sarvavyapi, is Vishnu. So that is why he says, I am the Vishnu, I am the Bhagavan of all the Aditya mandalas, which beyond the sun, much is only one sun, you know. Beyond 12 Aditya mandalas, I am the Bhagavan of all that. So that way you can imagine my vibhuti, that's what he says, yeah.
So does it mean that the solar system in which we are in, like this there are 12 more systems, 11 more systems?
Yeah, actually that is also, they say that 11 more in one galaxy. Beyond, there are many galaxies. Milky Way is one galaxy. In that Aditya Mandala can be 12 and there are many galaxies. Just imagine. So how much more it will be? Unimaginable. But Shastra talks about 12 Aditya Mandalas, which is of one galaxy. At that time, they were able to perceive that much, they have said that. But today, now they say, there are many more galaxies, many more, we can, as long as you are able to see that so many billion years away, light, just imagine, so many billion years away, something they can see means, if suppose 4 billion years is our life cycle, that so many billion years meaning that so many lives like this earth and our life cycle will, that yuga, Chatur Yuga and all will come and go, still much more is available beyond that 4 billion years, which is supposed to be the one Chatur Yuga. So, for you to go from Kali Yuga to Dwapara Yuga to Chaturtha Yuga to Satya Yuga, by the time you go and come back to Kali Yuga, still something more is there outside. By just observing also, you can make out 4 billion years, so many billion years is available outside. Means what? What you call, what we can understand from this whole thing is, there are many more galaxies, there are unimaginable the sense, even the Vastu meaning, even the manifestation of Ishvara is unimaginable in terms of time and distance, in terms of the number of lokas, number of yugas and all that. So, whereas your own reality is limitless, even much beyond that. And why it is so? It is because there is no real Vastu, there is no real thing. When there is no real thing, imagination, sky is the limit, we say now. Because when there is no, only when there is something for which there is a dimension, you have to restrict yourself. When there is no dimension, timeless, spaceless, desa kala, vastu aparichinnam, meaning there is no end to it. It can be billion years, what? Trillion years now, zillion years, they say there is something which I saw now. And recently, what is that? One followed by 24 zeros or something. 24, what they call it, zillion or something. Something mezzillion or something like that. What is that? Septillion. Septillion is one number is there. So all that are possible because there is a limitlessness, there is no limit. Infinity. Now, infinity number of zeros you add to 1. What will be? That will be the manifestation that is possible for a Desa Kala Vastu Aparichinna being. Our Swarupa, our own Swarupa, the being, he is capable of imagining anything. So that is why we don't want to go into the detail of it. If we understand the Swarupa as limitless, Desakala Vastu Aparichinnam, we are able to appreciate it, then you will be satisfied. He is talking about the Tripti, no? You will get the Tripti only when you understand the Swarupa, not when you imagine about the Swabhava. Swabhava can be endless. That is why he says you must go to Swarupa. Even this, all this, what you call, enumerating the Vibhutis, eventually what he says is, there is no limit to it. And even in the Vishwarupa also he says there is no limit to it. The only way he can be satisfied is by Jnana Chakshu. Jnana Chakshu means understanding your Swarupa as Desakala Vastu Parichinnam. So that is what finally he says. But still, to satisfy not only Arjuna but also all the Bhaktas, he tells about all the glories in detail. And then he says, with this you will not be satisfied. Best is to understand me as your own Swarupa, which is Desakala Vastu. Finally you will land. After completing on 11th chapter, you will finally land that way. But still, in order to satisfy the request of Arjuna and also the request of all the devotees, he keeps on enumerating what are all these glories. Ideally, what he says is, everything what you think is glorified is me only. There is nothing other than me. That he enumerates. You keep on enumerating it and finally shows Vishwarupa and finally says, you have to understand yourself as Desakala Vastu Parichinnam. This is how finally you will land. Let us go through this. Yeah.
Actually, Swamiji, that you said imagination, sky is the limit. Until so many years back, sometimes we think sky is the limit. The sky is the limit because we think sky is somewhere up.
No, not only that. There is something called sky. There is no something called sky.
That itself, that thing, its concept itself, yeah. I understood only so many years back. It is not that sky that's the limit. Sky is limitless. No.
Yeah. There is no sky.
There's no sky.
Because there is no real sky as such.
Right, there's no real sky. So that itself, for us to understand.
It takes time, but till the time, okay, to that extent we can imagine, we tell that and keep going, so that we appreciate the limitlessness of our the glory of Bhagavan. That is how we do that. Yeah.
From the standpoint of the world, among the luminous bodies in the sky, the brightest is Ravi, the sun, the one who has Anshuma rays. The sun is the center of our solar system, the energizing factor because of which earth has life. So, among the luminous bodies and the life-giving sun, in the Shruti, there are several devatas mentioned. Among them are Marut devatas. Among these Marut devatas, I am Marichi. Among the luminous bodies visible in the night sky, Nakshatras, I am Shashi, the moon, the brightest. There is another interpretation of this. Nakshatra Gachati goes. Yajamanaha, the performer of the rituals, Etat, to this place, Iti Nakshatraha.
So the performer of rituals goes. Nakshatraha. Traha means going. Nakshatraha. Where the performer of rituals goes. In the sense, where a person who performs ritual goes, he goes and we say, no, Arundhati, because he did so much of Vasishtha and Arundhati, they did so much of rituals. That is why they are there as stars. We say, no. So Nakshatra is a place where performer of ritual goes. That is why, that is also a meaning of the word Nakshatra. Nakshate, Gachati, it is Nakshatra. That is how it is, yeah.
There is another interpretation of this. Nakshatra means the place one goes to. Due to the efficacy of certain rituals, one goes to lokas, which are called nakshatras. Among all these nakshatras, Chandraloka is one of the better ones. But this Chandraloka is different from Chandra, the moon.
This is what I was telling, that Prabhupada, Chandraloka, he says, is different from Chandra, the moon. Yeah.
In all this, the one who obtains is Ishvara, and his Vibhuti is what is pointed out here. The glory of the Devatas or the glory of the luminaries is nothing but the glory of Ishvara. So the topic is not which Devata is to be worshipped, but that an object is what it is because of the glory of Ishvara. This is what is to be understood here. Among the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. All four Vedas talk of the glories of Ishvara. In each, the first portion discusses karmas or rituals and the law of karma, which is not separate from Ishvara. It reveals the Lord as the one who presides over the law of karma, karma adhyaksha, and as one who is the karma phala dhata, the one who gives the results of action. For the performance of ritual, punya is the karma phala, something that is the cause for a favorable result, but considered by you as luck because it is not visible. The Shastras call it punya. It can be gained by the performance of certain rituals. That a particular ritual will produce a particular result is Ishvara's mandate. Therefore, in that very karma is Ishvara. The sadhana, the means, is Ishvara, and the sadhya, the end that is sought, is Ishvara. The entire Karma Kanda talks indirectly of Ishvara in this way. The Jnana Kanda reveals Ishvara directly. So all the Vedas talk about Ishvara. Among them, I am Samaveda, says the Lord. In the Samaveda, all the mantras are sung, that is, they are recited in a simple musical form. This singing is more than mere recitation. Therefore, the Samaveda stands out among the recited Vedas. Another reason, though weak, is that the Samaveda has the famous Mahavakya, Tat Tvamasi. So Bhagavan says, among the Vedas, I am the musical and pleasing Samaveda.
That is why that where Tattvamasi is appearing, that is called Chandogya. Chandogya means Chandas. Chandas means it is in a particular melody. Chandas is a melody, raga, or singing. So Chandas, generally, Gayatri, Chandasam, Meda, or Chandas means singing. So that is why it's called Chandogya. In the Chandogya Upanishad, the Mahavakya is Tattvamasi. That's what he is mentioning here. Tattvamasi is supposed to be the very supreme Mahavakya. So Samaveda, I am Samaveda because there Tattvamasi appears. Because of that I am Samaveda. That's what Bhagavan said. There is a other meaning. It is not the real meaning, but that is also one interpretation. Yeah.
Among the various Devas and Indra, Indra is the lord of the Devas, the most exalted among them. His elevated status is due to Ishvara alone. So the glory of Indra is Ishvara. In Indra, who is the most exalted of Devas, we invoke Ishvara. There are different types of Indriyas, sense organs. The Karmendriyas, organs of action, and Jnanendriyas, the organs of knowledge. All of them, Bhagavan says, are me. But among them, I am the mind, because all senses have the mind as their basis. It is through the mind that we gain the knowledge of the world, and through the mind we order the Karmendriyas to perform their actions. The mind is behind the sense organs as a receiving organ that receives data from all sense perceptions, and it is the seat of desires that are fulfilled by the Karmendriyas. Both the sense organs of perception and the organs of action depend upon the mind. Therefore, the mind is also considered an instrument, Karana. Among all the Indriyas, Karanas, I am the mind, the one that is most important, without which none of the others can function. Wherever there is such importance, there is the glory of Ishvara. The glory of the mind is Ishvara. Then among the embodied beings, Bhutanam, I am the Buddhi, the faculty of cognition. The capacity to inquire and understand, which is manifest through the Buddhi, is Ishvara. There is nothing more beautiful than clarity of knowledge. Bhagavan says, I am that Chetana. Chetana implies not only clarity, but free will. It is the highest form of Prakriti's manifestation. If you accept a process of evolution, Prakriti reaches a point of fulfillment the moment the Upadhi gains the faculty of choice, Buddhi. There is an inbuilt faculty for a child to grow to become an adult. It is a biologically mechanical process involving no special will. It is called Bhava Vikara. But once the will is given, Prakriti has fulfilled itself and does not help you in your growth any further. You have to use the will you have been given to grow into a mature person. And you can grow up to the point where you discover you are infinite. It is the highest manifestation of Ishvara as a being.
So that is why in buddhi only you can discover that you are infinite. So that is why it is a vibhuti, it is the glory of Bhagavan. So that is why he says that way. So we will see tomorrow other glories.
पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम